Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? All right, just want to set a couple of things up here real quick before we get things rolling. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. You guys already know how it goes, man. Just want to make sure that I got everything set up. Trying to make sure if you guys got questions, I can answer some of them. I'm going to try to answer some of your questions on here. Okay. We're definitely gonna do my best. All right, so just bear with me. All right, so shout out to everybody, man. Happy Friday to you. We're gonna have some fun tonight. I guarantee you. I got some things that I felt compelled to jump on here and talk about. Now, understand, Freaky Friday is going down tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's why I jumped on here earlier. All right, that's why I'm on here earlier and wanted to make sure that we got this conversation out the way, and then we can parlay to the next situation. All right, hey Janae, how you doing? The title is obviously something that's gonna make you stop scrolling and click to see what this silver bearded dude is talking about with the shades and the b-boy chain. I get that. You know, all that is part of, branding and advertising and marketing. You got to understand those things, right? Signature glass of beverage, things like that. So let's get into it. So for those of you that have never seen me until now, or have never heard my voice until now, my name is Rob Malloy, aka GG, aka GG After Dark, right? So when you see the shades on, it's a GG After Dark situation. And basically, I want to talk a little bit about, before we get into the sex lies of social media, I wanted to make sure that I made myself clear who I am and where my stance is. So again, those of you that don't know, I'm Rob, aka GG, aka GG After Dark. I put a platform together in 2018, right? Going on 3 years now. I put a platform together in 2018 to where I wanted to ask men and women questions that, number one, would help bridge the gap between us, right? Number one, that was the first purpose. Oh, I'm sorry. The first purpose was to create a safe space to where everybody is comfortable giving their perspective and how they feel. That was number one. The second purpose was to ask questions, have a platform that'll help bridge the gap between men and women so we can have dialogue, right? So those were the main things. And of course, the one of the other things is I wanted it to be cool. Like I wanted it to be cool. I wanted it to be real. I want, people to say whatever's on their mind, not hold back, because I'm not going to hold back. So I figure if I lead in that direction, if I lead with those intentions, that it'll make everybody else more comfortable to do whatever they do, right? Without having to worry about, okay, well, what are people going to say? What are they going to think about? What are they going to think, about me? Are they going to judge me? Should I go with the flow? Should I say what other people are saying in that context? Or should I just, just give it how I feel, right? And so those were the purposes, or the main purposes, of creating a platform, in which I've done. And it is now a brand. As you can see, that is the logo. GG After Dark is an official logo. GG After Dark is an official brand. Right. So, it went from, just kind of a hobby or something I wanted to do to an actual business. So that being said, for those of you that are not familiar with my content, there's a couple of ways you can check it out. I'm on all your podcast platforms. I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Alexa. I need somebody to ask Alexa to play the GG After Dark experience and tell me what happens when that happens, right? Let me know. Alexa, play the GG After Dark experience. Again, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all the things that you guys got going on right now. And you can listen to content that dates back a minute ago. And that has a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about tonight. Because there's a lot of things that we've already covered. Those that have followed my platform, those that have been rocking with me for a minute, there's a lot of things that people are talking about now that we have already covered last year, year before, 2018. I promise you, we've already done it, right? So, and my point is, we should be elevating into some better topics, guys. We should be elevating into some better dialogue. Like, seriously, it's getting aggravating. It's getting aggravating, and I feel like we're regressing when it comes to bridging that gap between men and women. So anyway, so that's who I am. I'm based here out of Atlanta. I was born up top, raised down in the South, and I've been really enjoying this journey. A lot of great things going on, meeting a lot of amazing people, working with a lot of people, learning some new things. I'm always a student of life, and I open myself to be able to learn something every single day from anybody. I can learn from anybody. And, my goal is to always impart something of value to individuals that listen to my content, who meet me, rock with me, who have done, different projects with me. So that's always my goal, is to impart some value, or something that you see of value that you could take away from anything that I have to do with. All right. So now, that being said, that's the pleasantries, man. We got that out the way, man. So I pray you're having a dope Friday. I do have a few more minutes that I can get off what I need to get off. So I was talking about where we are right now when we talk about the dialogue between men and women. So let's just address the elephant in the room, right? This high value, low value, what I deserve to date, what you should date, what you shouldn't date, and all that stuff, for some reason is on a rise. And I'm saying that because people have platforms, right? And they're going to talk about whatever they want in their platforms. It's all about your takeaways, right? It's all about your takeaways. I think it's important to take away something, right? It's important to take away something, but at the same time, you can't lose who you are as an individual. You can't lose who you are as far as how you operate and how you do things. Just because someone talks about specific topics and subjects, that's not even your battle to fight, honestly, right? It's not your battle to fight. And so right now, where we are right now, we have to start talking about things that's going to bring us together and find some common ground to where we can actually make some progress. And that's if we're talking about dialogue between men and women, because that's what I'm referring to, because that's the battle. That's the struggle. That's the tug of war. What men aren't doing, what women aren't doing, what men should do, what women should do. I did a series some time ago called What Men Really Want. I had thousands of guests on there. I've even did a series called What Women Really Need. Right? That sounds cool, right? I may have to revisit these things, apparently. And basically, a lot of times we have to figure out if the individuals that we're dealing with are a good fit. And in order to do that, we have to have some type of process, right? We have to have some type of process. And I think what happens is we stray away from that process because we give certain people a certain pass. We give certain people a certain pass that allows us to deviate right? It allows them to catapult from A all the way to Y instead of going through A, B, C, D all the way down the line. They get to go from A to damn Y. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you deviate from the process, that means you miss things. You know how some people are like speed readers, or they call them, say, hey, I can just skim through that, and then I put together a whole synopsis of what this book is about. Right? Now, you may skim through it, but you're not catching every single thing. So if you don't catch every single thing, then that means you can miss some things, right? So if you're missing some things could be big to and some of those things can be small, depending on where they see value or where that reader sees value in it. But the point of the matter is you can miss some things if you don't go through that process. Take your time and make sure that you cover every single thing that you know that your ass knows you need to cover. You understand what I'm saying? People get passes for some reason. Sometimes the reasons are looks. They look so good. They appear to look so good. They seem like they got their stuff together, right? So, hey, I don't have to ask certain questions because I know that they handle their business, right? They come off super intelligent, super cool, super dope. And then, you don't go through a certain process, so you don't ask certain questions that you know that you need to ask, that in the past have help you understand what direction to go to with this individual, or cut stuff off early, or dig in a little bit more. Right? So it's one of those things, y'all. Let's just be real about it, man. Nobody out here is perfect in making every right decision. Like, we all still make mistakes even today, right? Or sometimes we make choices that are like, you know what? I could have made a better choice. I kind of went with this because I was feeling that way, right? Or I was in that type of mood, but I could have made a better choice. I'm usually up on my game. I'm usually tighter than that. That happens to every single person, right? It happens to everybody. Right? Sometimes we make decisions that, if we actually thought about it, if we weren't impulsive, if we weren't in a funky ass mood, or if we was just took our time a little bit more, like we know that we should, right? Then we would have went through a process to where we could have thought about making a better decision. And even if we thought about it a little bit longer, we probably wouldn't have made a decision on that at all. Right? Is what I'm saying. So let me break this down, because we only got a few more minutes. Let's talk about men and women and dating. I feel like anybody can date anybody. We talked about the high value type situation. And of course, that could be subjective, right? But at the same time, we've been talking about that for years and years anyway. We just dress it up a little bit differently. Right? We say date in your lane, right? We say date in your lane, stay in your lane. And here's the thing about that. Anybody's situation can change, right? You can be making 6-7 figures, and then, something happened, whether it be your health, whether it be a financial situation or whatever, and then you're not necessarily making 6 or 7 figures anymore, right? Or you can lose it all, God forbid. Or you can be in a situation to where your income has increased. You know what I mean? You've started a business, or you've created something that has changed your financial trajectory, right? And so now your income has now tripled, quadrupled, or whatever. And so what it boils down to is the individuals, right? You could throw money at somebody all day long, and depending on who they are, it's going to magnify that. It's going to magnify who that person is, right? Whether if they got money or whether they don't have money, things are going to magnify who they are depending on what that situation is. And so that's how we have to look at individuals. We have to look at individuals straight up, because when we start talking about dating different type of folks, and I'm going to be a little bit more specific, I always like using the example of, a blue collar or even, somebody who you would consider a hustler or someone who you would consider not in the exact world, not in the corporate America situation, right? That person, whether it be woman or man, can meet someone that is an executive in corporate America, whether they're a physician, whether they're a VP exec, whether they're CEO, CFO, whether it's a multi-million mogul or anything like that. They can meet. These two people can meet, right? So let's be real. These two people can meet, right? So what's going to happen is it's going to boil down to who these people are individually. It's going to boil down to that. Is it a true connection or not? What is the reason they're getting together? And when you talk about that, you have to talk about where a person is. And my theory is always the same. You're in three places at all times, right? You're in one of three places at all times, especially when it comes to relationships. One, you're about to get into something, right? You're almost into it. You're about to get into something. Two, you are in it. You're in the thick of it, right? You're in the thick of it. You're in something right now. Or three, you just got out of something. Either you're about to get in something, you're right in it, or you're about to get out of it. You're in one of three places. So depending on where you're at and where you meet a person, that's how mismatched people can connect. That's how mismatched people can connect. You ever seen somebody and you're like, damn, how did she get with him? How did he get with her? Right? It's all about time and where that person is at. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to last, but I'm just saying that it can happen. And so, all right. So ladies talk about, guys not having, right? That's big. Like, men can't have all of these things. So don't play with me and act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Women talk about what men can't have or what men don't have all the time. All the time. Check your timeline right now. It's there. Right? But here's the thing. When you talk about, okay, dude and baby mama drama, or dude not working, or his money ain't up, or, he was cheating and acting a fool. You talk about these things, but guess what? All of y'all got a story with that dude. Every single woman has a story with that dude, about that dude. The same dude that they talk about that they would not deal with at no time. But you got a story, right? So this is GG After Dark. So I talk, right? So you talk about fuck boys, but you got a story about being with one. You understand what I'm saying? And I got 3 minutes. So I got to wrap this up. So, and I got to get on you ladies, because again, we keep talking as if we don't need to bridge a gap. Like, I'm going to be all right. I guess I'm going to be single forever. I don't need this. I'm good, whatever. But at the same time, you want companionship, right? It can't be everybody. It can't be everybody, man. Do you understand me? It can't be everybody. It ain't never you. Listen, if I ask you what happened, and I have before, if I ask you what happened in your last relationship or your last few relationships why it ain't work out, the first thing you should say is what you did not do or what you did do. Who does that? Who leads with what they did or what they did not do when they talk about why their past relationship busted up? No, you don't. Because he cheated, she cheated, her money wasn't right. They ain't do what they said that they was gonna do. They didn't keep it 100. They wasn't transparent. Okay, so when you found those things out, what did you do? Did you give them the benefit of the doubt? Look, I gotta go, and this is getting good because I got something for that ass, right? Let's do this real quick. Here's one of the biggest double standards. Here's one of the biggest double standards that I've acquired or that I've learned being in this industry of relationships. I'm a relationship realist, not an expert, not a guru. I'm a realist. Here's one of the biggest ones. When a woman cheats, right? Is when a woman cheats, do men stick around? You can answer that now. Do most men stick around? When women cheat, do most men stick around? Do they get 2 and 3 and 4 chances? And I'm not waiting on that. When a guy cheats, right? When a guy cheats, does he get multiple chances most of the time? Now look, I ain't talking about last week when you ain't give Raheem no chances. I need you to think about the totality of dudes that you gave multiple chances to. So when guys cheat, right? Or I'm sorry, when they right. So when guys cheat or there's infidelity involved, do they get multiple chances? A lot of times they get multiple chances, right? Or they get 2 or 3 chances. Maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But let's just talk about the 2 or 3 chances. They get them, right? Because you loved him. You fell in love with him, right? The wood was good. Good wood gives you several chances. Do not play with me. Right? He took care of you. He made you feel special. He did some things that nobody else ever done. Those are the justifications of giving him multiple chances, right? Tongue game was strong, right? These are things that give him multiple chances, right? True. Yes or yes? Yes. Now, why is it such a big deal when people say women can cheat one time and the guy leaves, and he can cheat multiple times and she takes him back, and that is a bad thing? Like we're losing the principle of it, right? Smokey, it's principalities, right? So he cheats, he gets multiple chances. Is that his fault? He gets multiple chances. She cheats, he's out of there. Is he wrong for being out of there? Is he wrong for having that standard that he's not going to give her another opportunity to do it again? Is he wrong for that? All right, look, I got to go. Maybe I'll finish it. Maybe I won't. I said what I said. But listen, man, the point is we have to start bridging the gap, man. We can't be looking at these superficial topics, superficial subjects, and having these battle of the sexes and tug of wars that aren't even fun, right? These aren't even connecting us together, right? So it's time to actually dig in, which I thought was the direction we was going, right? Until this other stuff, y'all are taking shit that you know that you don't even stand for and bringing it into your own communities, social media communities, and pushing it out for discussion. Why? Why we can't talk about family and the things we need to do to build our families up? Why we can't talk about going beneath the surface on how to deal with insecurities, right? Our insecurities before getting in a relationship. Why we can't talk about the healing process? Why we can't talk about 2 things? Why we can't talk about accountability anymore? Your accountability, right? We can no longer put it on Raheem and Tyrone because y'all keep going to Tyrone and Raheem. Is it his fault? No. Fellas, why we can't be more disciplined? Like, why we can't be more disciplined? You got to be a Muslim. You got to be in the military to have discipline. Why we can't do these things, man? So anyway, I'm out. Check me out on Freaky Friday, man. I got to go. Y'all know the number. I'm about to post it on here anyway. Come over on Freaky Friday and talk to me, all right? All right, and maybe we'll deal with this a little bit later on. All right, I'm out. Gigi checking out. Peace.